Building a design in Australia is pretty straightforward for people. We have a good system right around Australia, particularly with the project industry and the architectural industry. You're going to pay higher for the architectural industry, depending on who you go to. With the project industry, it's still cost effective. If you look at what the average wage is. Yeah. So I think we're very lucky that we have that. The awareness is there for energy efficiency and sustainability, but there's a lack of education, which is really important. We don't educate ourselves very well here in Australia when it comes to sustainability. There's a lot of misinformation, there's a lot of part information. So therefore, the industry doesn't fully understand, also local government doesn't fully understand, and the general public don't fully understand as a consequence. Look, the star rating process is a very important process. It's a process that's been brought in by federal government, then adopted by various different state governments at certain times. And it supports the industry in changing from a poor energy inefficient industry through to an energy efficient industry. It's important for people to realise it's transitional. When at the moment in Western Australia you have to have a 6-star home, it's important to understand that that's the lowest common denominator. It's not top of the wazza. So therefore, if you get a 6-star home, that's great, but it's still the lowest you can get. So it's a minimum standard, not a top standard. The other thing that's important to understand about it is that you could have a 6-star home that is a passive solar home. You can have a 6-star home that's just energy efficient, which is based on what's called a conditioned space, which is a space that needs mechanical heating and cooling. And those two homes could be 6-star. The passive solar one, if it's designed appropriately, will outperform the other energy efficient home at the same star rating by maybe 2 or 3 times. In other words, a third or half the energy. So that's a thing that very few people understand. With a good passive solar home, you've got the right mix of insulation and mass, orientation, airflow, etc. If you don't have the mass inside the home, then you can't hold the temperature in a home. You have nothing to hold it. The best way to describe it is you could have an esky, and an esky is very good at keeping temperature. If you put something solid in there, like a brick that's hot, not that you put a brick in an esky, but if you did heat a brick up or something solid, it'll keep that temperature for a long period of time. Or if you make it cool, put an ice block in there, it'll stay cool for a long period of time. If you just put warm air in there, then it can't transfer into any surface because it's just insulation. So that's the problem with actually building like an insulated box. You have to have mass, and you need to have floor mass and wall mass, because they both operate in 2 different ways and they're connected together, so they have a synergy of working together. Well, the exciting thing about the project with Josh is that working with him is great. He's enthusiastic. He's also knowledgeable. When you work with people that have a good knowledge about what they're doing, then they're much easier to work with because you're not spending the time explaining it. And also we have a good relationship, so therefore we trust each other and what we're trying to do. Trust is a very important part of any relationship. And also, Josh wants to do something that makes a difference to other people. It's not just about him. So therefore, as a demonstration project, this project will give a lot of information out to the general population, and that's fabulous.